So I think I'm gonna go back to like what Auntie B was talking about with soul ties, but also on what like Reverend talked about as well. I feel like for me, the biggest heartbreak that I've been through, I think, was with actually my best friend, which was actually a female. Because I don't know, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I just feel like Holy Spirit's really pressing on my heart to speak about it. And I feel like I didn't realise the heartbreak with my best friend until I dealt with the heartbreak with the boy that I was in a situationship with. And I feel like that's what I was crying about the most, because when I got together with the guy, that's like when things went wrong with like me and my best friend. And so I ran to him to be my savior. I ran to him because I was looking for somebody else to get me, kind of like she got me type of thing. And so I feel like for me, why I felt broken the most is because I think for like the duration of my life, one thing that I've been dealing with is rejection. So I feel like for them, they confirmed that anxiety and that fear that I was dealing with rejection, where it's like, I showed you the totality of my being, but you still said, I'm not about it. Like, we cried together, we laughed together, we did all this good stuff together, but you still said to me, I'm not about it and stuff. So I felt like God had to take me out of that situationship for me to deal with that root of rejection that I was dealing with. So that took me 2 years to get over, and then for me to now realise that the actual heartbreak that I was dealing with was with my best friend, and it's still hard going through it now. I feel like that's why I can't even talk about it fully and like properly. But I felt like for me, I always felt like I had to be with someone. So it didn't necessarily have to be relationship guy-wise, but like with someone that I'm so close to, that they know everything about me, and so I can attach to them, because I always felt like I needed a stabilizer. Like even sitting here now, I was waiting for someone to nudge me and just be like, speak already. But one thing that God has been teaching me is that you don't need anybody else but me. Like people may have rejected you. Like even when I was born, like my mom, she didn't reject me, but like she wanted me to be a guy. So for like the first few couple of days of my life, she didn't hold me, because she was just like, no, I wanted her to be a girl. I wanted her to be a boy, but she's a girl and I'm not about it, and all this stuff. So it's just been like a series of, I think, attaching myself, and God had to unwind me from that mental state of being like, you have to always be attached to someone. I feel like for most of my life I've been finding that attachment, and God was like, you can't attach yourself to anybody else but me. And I feel like that's why I'm not in a relationship now, because I feel like if I get back into one, that person will become my God, that person will become my idol. And I feel like that was one of the things that went wrong in the situationship. He became my God. He became the reason why I was reading the Bible, because he was reading like 10 chapters a day, and I was just like, my God, I'm just doing one verse. I wanted to catch up, I wanted to be in the loop, but that can't be the anchor and the foundation of my relationship with God because of a man. So when we get married now, I won't pray, I won't chat to God, because I have my husband now who's become my God and stuff. So obviously I'm still going through that process of healing, but yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, and I think even with what you were mentioning about the husband thing, I think even as women, we need to be very careful, even in marriage, to guard our heart against making our husbands our gods. Because even me being married, you know, one time Holy Spirit, and I'm someone that I'd like to think I have a good relationship with God. Obviously you're always growing, so I'm someone that I would love to go to God, but it got to the stage where every time something would happen, the first person would call, I'm like, oh, let me call my husband and tell you, what do you think? Or when I'm going through my process of, I used to have a diary before where I would write to God, speak to God, spend time alone with God, and I still did that, but I was doing it more to ask for things as opposed to fellowship with him. And when I wanted to fellowship, I would go to my husband instead of going to God. So even in marriage, I literally, it's a thing of where people think, oh, I'm married now, it's okay, whatever. But then even in marriage, I constantly feel like I have to pull myself back. Even one time I was, you know, talking to my husband, I was like, oh, I want to tell you everything. And God caught me at that point. I said, no, you tell me everything, not him. And you know, when you start when you start pouring yourself onto your husband like that, you begin to give him a burden that he can't carry. And then you begin to become frustrated with him when he's not carrying the burden. Because when Prince wouldn't be able to be there for me, I would be saying, you're my husband like that. Like, come on, like if he's not there to meet my emotional needs, or he's not in the mood, like I'm a night person, so at midnight I'll be like, so let's talk. And my husband's eyes are like, huh? Okay, baby. And I'll be like, oh, so I remember back in the day. And you can see his eyes slowly going like, huh? And I remember saying like, listen, you're not there for me. I want to talk to you. I want to express myself to you. And you're not there for me. Listen, if you're not there for me, I'm going to go and talk to my friends. I have sisters. My sisters will be there for me. And he was like, oh. And it's actually the Holy Spirit that had to tell me that he can't carry all your burdens. You can't tell him everything. Yes, you want I always said I wanted a relationship where my husband and I are best friends. But then he can be your best friend, but he can't be your Lord. That's what God said to me. So I think if you think even when you get married, you're never going to come. I feel like as a woman, I need to let women know that you're never going to come to a point where you're not constantly guarding your heart and pulling yourself back from making any person, female or male, a God in your life. So that's something that even as of recently, I was bringing out old books from 2009. I always just keep like 2000. I was like, hold on a second, these are all the things I used to write to God. Like, what happened? I'm stopped writing some of these things to God, and I've started telling my husband instead. So that's just something that you all have to deal with all the time. Yeah. So yeah. Hello.
I think what you said that really kind of made your story different from a lot of us is that the heartbreak of the friendship.
Yes.
And that really, we don't really
talk about that.
I mean, like, I always use my friendship with one, for example, as an example. Like, character-wise, we're so different. Like, you guys know her. Like, we have similarities, but we're very different. So I'm like the perceived out there one, and she's like perceived to be, reserved, and she's lighter, I'm darker, and there's just whatever. But even in that, it's the insecurities of, I've always been that person as well, that I don't need everybody, but I really would like that one person to be my person. And then if that person then rejects you or shifts in whatever, like I literally will, if I'm going to speak somewhere, I'm like, are we going to speak? Obviously I'm the one speaking, but I want her there because I didn't used to be able to deal with everybody. So even if I'm preaching, I would look everywhere else or look at her. And because she's there, she was like a lot of my stabilizers. But people would look at that dynamic and think I'm the one that's helping her in journey. It's so easy. And then obviously life starts to change a little bit and we're growing different ways. And you just kind of have to be like, ooh. Or even sometimes, because if we're in a room and I didn't want her to feel like I was overpowering her, then I want to like edit myself to kind of fit I'm going to be quieter so she can, so I wasn't being my full self. And in any relationship, if you can't be your full self without the fear of judgment, it makes you, and literally she had to speak to me, she was like, listen, it takes grace to be your friend. I was like, I know what you mean. But then it's a thing where I love her for who she is in totality, and we have an honest relationship. So if and the dynamic is also different because I was her pastor, I'm one of the senior leaders in church, and we're doing ministry together. So sometimes I'm Reverend Wanu in the reverendness, and sometimes I'm the little sister that needs her to feed me. and that dynamic, sometimes I got to correct her in an area. And the tricky dimensions of friendships won't work if either of us were insecure in who we are. And like I said, nobody can complain. My mom used to, one of the talks we had, what your mom's trying to say, my mom's sex talk was, you're going to a party, if a boy tells you to sit on the lap, call your brother. It was just, the answer for it was, call your brother. But then she used to say something that stuck with me, and I had to use it. She was like, until you're complete in God, not even complete in yourself. Because if you look at yourself, even yourself, you let yourself down in certain areas. So your completion has to complete. So until you're complete in God, you can't compliment someone else. And so I've had to But it's so easy. Everyone, as far as I know, has gone through that whole moment where you're like, I'm trying to be who I am, but I need you to tell me I'm okay. Like, I need you to tell me I'm not too loud, or like that guy that didn't break my heart, but I broke my own heart. I used to, like, I felt like he needed a particular type of woman. So, and then I had another friend that looked, you know, the Bible says you be a quiet and gentle spirit. And you know, there are people that look quiet. You know, the Christian girls that just look.
Like my cousin.
We ain't saying no names.
And what these have many cousins. These have many cousins. It could be any of them.
But
You know,
we, and even when we read the scripture, we read about the characters of a woman. We try and act like that, are supposed to be that, and there's only so long. Listen, I tried to do you were there when I was trying to edit myself with Bradford. I was trying to be good, quiet. Didn't have opinion, just be a yes girl. After a while, I was like, can't do it. Listen, this is me. And until you get to that place where you receive God's love for yourself, but even when you get to a workplace, when you get to, you know, like, can we 1000% be real?
Yeah.
Like, even coming to a church.
Yeah.
And being around, like, I used to act like I was begging friends with Dana for a while. I've been begging friends with Pearl for a while. We used to have to figure it out, didn't we? You gotta figure out, because the thing is, we're all different people. And if you think, a lot of relationships, like, I can't expect my relationship with Pearl to be the same relationship with each other. But sometimes we see how other people relate to each other and we place a demand on it. And sometimes it's just not that. And so for what, you gotta be okay, because otherwise, if you take someone along your journey that's not meant to be there, listen, like even our bishop said, listen, I love everybody. But not everybody is in my, you know, even Jesus had Peter, James, and John, but they were still talking. It takes reminding yourself. Because in those quiet moments when your insecurities are highlighted, and everybody else seems to feel like they're rejecting you because they're not validating you. But just because someone's not validating you doesn't mean they're rejecting you. Does that make sense?
I had a close friend that I really, really, really cared about. We clicked like this. And it was weird because I was kind of coming from the world into Christ, and she was already in Christ. And she'll do things like, oh no, I don't listen to that. I don't have gospel music. And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll continue doing what I'm doing, because I think I gave my life to Christ maybe in March, but this was around June, like sometime. So I was still transitioning very early. And then we'll go to so this was on holiday, we'll go somewhere, like to the club, and she'll be like, I'm gonna stay at home and read my Bible. I'm like, okay. Like, I wasn't like triggered by her behavior, like I wasn't like upset by it, but I would just watch it. And then I came to know God like even more, and then it was like there was a swap. So then I was thinking, you're not doing what you used to do, and I'm doing what you used to do. And then I saw like our relationship kind of just disperse. And then I was like, we're just strangers that just so far.
Apart from the night.
And it's like,
It's a throwback friend.
but it's not even that much of a throwback, because I've got throwback friends, but we know why. You're gonna stay there, but this was like a crossing. And then like I remember like being in, like crying, really like being really upset, because I really felt like we were the type of people who you needed to understand us. Because like she's kind of quirky, and I've been told all kinds of things about myself, and I felt like we actually got each other. And so to kind of lose that friendship, I would actually pray for it. There wasn't many friends I prayed for. When I came out of the world, I didn't pray for other friends. Ships. Other friendships. But this one I was like, you know, please save it, Lord. But like it never really got salvaged. It was just like, so in terms of like losing like somebody or going through that kind of transition. Yeah, like it can be quite painful. We don't talk about it. I feel like girls, they have loads of friends that they lose, or loads of friends that they were close to but aren't close to anymore. And I just like to glorify the male kind of relationships.
But that hurts. I mean, she didn't like me when she first met me.
It's because you're...
I was like, but then at the same time, as much as, but now we're like, even after she's, but not even just because of marriage. It's like, when you said it, she actually told me she let me, but it's okay.
So you were bridesmaid?
Listen, I should have been chief, but it's okay.
Let it all out now.
Well, you know how usually, obviously, I think probably first year of uni. First year of uni was like, you know, there's some people that you just look at and you're thinking, okay. And it was just that.
And I wasn't used to
A lot
it.
of people like that when you're like,
So thank God for Igbo, the girl. Who loves Greece. but the thing is, but there were other people that I was close to. But then again, within that shift, but one of the things that pulled us together was because we were all trying to navigate our Christian life. And so, like, let's say I went to a party that guy, she said, threw me. So I think it was a Saturday, and we're all looking at each other like, shouldn't be here. Like, Jesus is not pleased with this. But even if we went out on the Sunday, we'll go to church, and that's how we kind of like our desire to not be who we were being is. And some people will help you be who you're trying not to be. So like they will emphasize your past, and you need someone to look at your future. And so purpose in friendship is so key. It's just because I want you there doesn't mean you should be there. Do you know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that bonded.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, we did the first thing we did, and we showed the truth about hip hop. You all remember the truth about hip hop? Yeah. That was it. Was the worst event we've ever had. Because I had red hair because I couldn't afford hair at that time. And my friend just finished doing her hair, so the little bit I was left, I just put it in the hair. we played the truth about hip hop. That night, the reaction we wanted wasn't that people were angry with us because they'd seen us do what they were doing. So it's like you doing what we're doing, and now you're gonna say we're all sinning. But we were bonding on that. I couldn't sleep. There was a spirit of fear in my room. There was a guy I was trying to shake off at the time. I went to my room, the persecution was too much. I called my brother, but he couldn't help. So I called the guy, I was like, yo, what are you doing? And everybody went back to the sin that they were doing. But then when we came
after I went to a party,
after we showed the truth about it, it was really bad. But at the same time, as much as all that was happening, and we didn't really know each other well, the fact that obviously God had an ultimate plan for us, because we did ministry together and all that, and now she's married to my brother. But beyond that, to put that in there, she met through, anyway, it's okay. We give all the glory to God, who used myself and my friend Toby. But even that, the whole, like, the other people were close with, but those people were still wanting to stay in that world. And although she may not have left me, but I loved her from the very first day. Thank you. I'm the good one. Look at that. But having someone to speak to that understood where I was going, but didn't understand, like, or understood and helped me push, and I was doing the same. That's one of it. It wasn't anything else that made us friends. It wasn't that we liked anything about each other, except we both wanted God. And sometimes we want people that they don't, two cannot work together except they agree. So as much as you want to be friends with certain people, if that person has nothing to do in your life, then they're taking up space. And as much as it hurts, and it does, listen, it hurts. But then I also had friends, names can't be mentioned, that I had to leave, get in God enough, and then that person saw what was happening, and it made them come in, and then we rekindle it. So sometimes we feel like we can't leave people, but I don't know about you, I ain't gonna help with nobody. Nobody. So it's
And I think friendship is an important thing to discuss among women, because I even feel like if you have the right friendships, if you're single, it can even make you less needy for a guy relationship. Because for me, I kind of felt like when I was single, like I had my friends there, like I wasn't really like, oh, where's my relationship? I had such good, my female friends, my male friends, like I had brothers in Christ, my female, everything was cool. Like if I needed a child, call one of my guys, call my girl. So, and even now, but navigating friendships in ministry and getting the right balance between. And my husband said something to me today. He said, no, you need to know that that girl is your sister, and that girl is not your friend, you're her pastor. And I said, hold up a second. He was like, stop trying to put that person in a friendship box. And then, because if you put a person in the wrong box, you're going to get hurt by it. So understanding where we need to put, and I'm not even talking about male here, I'm talking about females, where you need to, what box you need to put people in, will save you a lot of stress.
Same for the people at the back.
Yeah, because it takes, because of, obviously I'm in ministry, you know, what I do, the level I am at, not level in like level as in height, level as in depth with God. It takes you need to be a bit mature to kind of understand my lifestyle. So if you don't understand my lifestyle, it's going to be turned into me mothering you as opposed to us being friends.
Yeah.
So I can't put you there because I'm going to become your mother. And then it takes a certain level of maturity to be. So even with friends now, even with relationships now with females, I like to do my own, you know, someone made a joke, say, oh, to get close to you, you have to climb mountains. And I'm like, no. But to save you pain, me pain, I have my own little checks and balances, a little test to see where do I slot you in. Are you here? Am I your pastor? Are you a work colleague? Are you a ministry colleague? Like, how do I, because I'm doing that to save stress in the future and to cut out the drama, because we women, when you put someone in the wrong place, that's what causes drama.
Because it's deep, like it's just too much.
So
I remember there's someone here who like, I thought, you know, we were like, and then they didn't invite me to their birthday.
I mean, who did that?
And like, they were like, sorry, it was just for like close people. And I was like, I thought we were close. And she let me know. So this whole slotting of boxes is really, really helpful, you know.
I don't know who felt that shade, but I would like you to leave an offering because that shade just gets me crazy. No, but you know, honestly speaking, is what she said is real.
No,
But the thing is, if you have a
I
wrong
agree.
perception of someone, like someone, you put someone as a friend, and that person puts you as a sheep. No, but biblically speaking, you know, like, yeah. And so you see them like, and your social media be betraying us, you know.
Yeah.
You should have a private moment.
Yeah.
Okay, but our private moment, we put it on social media. Someone's like, wait, that person was there, that person was there, that person was there. It's like between the lines. You are not there because you are sheep.
yeah.
And it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We all want to, you know, the Bible says, you know, we say, oh, can we all get along? The Bible says, you know, two cannot work together except they agree, and God likes unity. And we all know that, but understand that the dynamic of relationship is different. There are certain things I will go to Busola for. And Busola, she's seen me cry, she's been there. But I wouldn't do that with someone else. If someone else, like, if someone else at church that maybe I'm a leader over or something, and she's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'm fine. Oh, but I see you're okay, I'm glad you rise. But I'm fine. Because you're not where I'm going to put that on. Because I don't believe in putting weight. And it's not necessarily because you can't deal with it. Because sometimes people transition from being just sheep to coming to sister. There are people that transition. So like we started friends and then we shifted a little bit to just pastor and thinking, and that was a struggle. But then it came back again. And now it's, so we just need to be mature enough to understand and accept. And some people just don't transition. Some people are just, I got work colleagues that I banter with, I speak to about everything, and there are some work colleagues that is just, let's get it done. There's some people who are just in your life to fulfill the assignment, but they are not there to be pillars in your life. Oh my God, do you know what I mean? We all want to do that. And that's real, and that's the truth. And it doesn't mean like you can't invite people to certain things, but they're not meant. Even the holy place, the holies of holies, there are people that just in wrong position, and you can't be bitter if someone doesn't put you in the same position as you. Just I had to deal with
reposition and move on.
It's not, and we miss vital friendships because we're looking for love in specific places.
It's expectations.
We're saying that person gets on with that person, so I want to, and we need to even figure out why is it that person that has to be your friend. Is there not a blessing that you're missing coming from somewhere else in an unlikely place? Because you never know, God will bring a compliment and you're trying to get a competitor. And that's not that we say we compete, but you know, that's nice.
I think I have to agree with like when you were talking about the scaffolding thing, because where I was at uni was like everyone was talking about in the world and whatever, and then I came to uni and I was doing what I was doing, I was having a good time and I met people, and then it got to a point where I was going in a different direction from everybody that I knew, so it became like what it was basically what happened is I was living with some people. And then it all turned upside down, and there was things said about them, and they thought it was me that said it, so it turned into a fight in the house, and it was literally everyone in the house against me, and then I was there by myself, and then they it was a real thing, like, one of them tried to get a knife, we had to call the police, they were trying to mess up my stuff, one of them burst into my room, was trying to fight me, it was a serious thing, so it was just like, that season was like, it wasn't, I actually thank God for that season because it had to happen, because I had to let go of those people and then go forward into where God was taking me, because we weren't going in the same direction. As in, they were going there and I was going this way. And like, even like, because the church that I was going to at that time, before I came to Salem, which I go to now, because of what happened, led me to Salem. So I had to go through that. It was hard, it was horrible. I had to even I had to get an exception for that year. Like it was the end of the year, so it was like university, and I was in my second year. So I had to get an exception from the university. I had to involve them. They had to give me emergency campus accommodation. So it was a real like big thing. My mum had to come from London. Like everything was a rush that day. So it was like, but I knew that happened for a reason, because I wasn't like in Christ because I was just saying I was a Christian. It was that was the word I was saying, I was a Christian, but I wasn't really in it. So it was a thing of, I had to go through that, come out from there and say, okay, this is your time, this is your crossroad. Are you going this way with them, or are you going this way with God? And that's how I came to where I am now. If that didn't happen, I would have still been walking the same street with them and doing the same thing. So I look back on it. At the time I wasn't happy. It was a serious situation. But I look back at it and say, God, thank you because that happened, because I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't have the people that I have around me now if I hadn't gone through that. So definitely there's times and seasons, but there's also people that push you. Like, it's not necessarily, they're not meant to be there for the whole time, but they're there to push you to the direction that God wants to take you.
Yeah. How do you deal with conflict now, though, as Christians? Because all that whole stabbing you, knife, it is that people.
You know what? I noticed, yeah.
But how do you do
Christians, they just pray.
conflict?
Yeah. I feel like what a lot of Christians tend to do is, in their head, they think, oh, if anything happened to this, I'm gonna. No, you're not. You're going to go and say, God, I'm really angry, but please help me. And then you're probably gonna end up interceding for the person, and then interceding for yourself for offense.
Okay, you guys are friends.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine you're like besties, and then there's like whatever conflict. It's just because we're saved doesn't mean we always see eye to eye. And
Yeah,
stuff.
of course.
But as girls, how do you like?
Just be direct. For example, me and Peace have a close relationship, and I've got close relationships with other people as well. So I'm not the one to.
Bring an example.
So, for example, shall we?
Yeah. Bring an example, because I
So,
want to see
like,
how you do
with
it.
my close friends, like, if I feel like there's an issue with me, I'm an upfront person. Just because I value our friendship and I want us to move forward, and I don't want, the tension we have to be like a stumbling block for us to, like, get closer. So, like, for example, me and Peace, sometimes there's a bit of misunderstanding, and sometimes I will message Peace like two essays, like saying, you did this to me, you did that to me, this is how I felt, blah, 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 blah. Basically just like, pouring out my emotions just because I value that friendship that I have with her, and just for her to understand. But I feel like nowadays what people do, even some Christians, is that if they have an issue with somebody, they don't confront the person, not in a confronting way that beef the person, but just have a one-to-one, just have a conversation with them, be like, this is what's happened, this is how you've hurt me, and then obviously you will hope that person be mature enough to be like receptive to what you're saying, and be like, okay, maybe there's a bit of misunderstanding, and see how you can both like move forward. But I feel like what people do nowadays is like, if they have an issue with somebody, I guess they'll just speak to the next person about that other person, and then other people get involved, and then there's gossiping, and then it's just like your friendship is broken, and like you can't repair back that friendship. So I feel like if you have an issue with someone, and even it's biblical as well, the Bible says that if you have an offense with a brother, go to that brother. If they still do it again, okay, go to like, your pastor, your leader. Sometimes I go to everyone, sometimes I go to everyone. Like if that person still carries on, if they still carry on, then take it to the church kind of thing. So I feel like it's biblical to kind of go to that person first, but all mature, go to that person first and be like, this is what you've done to me, this is how you've hurt me. If they still carry on, if they still, are the way they are, then obviously that's when you get leaders involved, that's when you get the church involved. But I feel like, first hand, just take to that person, and I feel like that's how my friendships with certain people have lasted longer, because I was able to be transparent with them and tell them, this is how you've hurt me, And yeah, we've worked on it, and obviously I can hear their side of the story as well, and we have the understanding, and then we can just like move on.
I also feel like it's like if you know that your friend is a genuine person, like do you really think they sat there and intended to plot? Do you know what I mean? So it's also having the understanding of the type of friend you have,
Yes.
and also understanding, okay, grace. Like if you're going to be upset by everything they do, but God still forgives you, then what, you hide in God? I don't understand. So I think also, like the value, if you place value on the person, you won't let just anything end the whole friendship. Yeah. And at the same time, because you value the person, you may put some things on the side, but you won't let it mount up to the point where it becomes a big explosion and you do end up, going your separate ways. Also, but some people are paid though, so I feel like maturity is key.
I was going to say, and I think for that reason that you've just said, for me, I don't always confront people. I always look for a reason why they've acted a certain way, and I do, isn't it? Or sometimes I also look at myself, what have I done to get that reaction from this person? So most of the time I just try to deal with it within myself before God, and I just let it go. And what I would also do is that to show that there's nothing there, I would purposely go and hug that person just to clear it out of the way, just to not But that is something that I tend to do because I don't really like to, I'm someone who I don't like to hold grudges, or I don't like to be upset about people, or even, I just don't like to have people in my heart and stuff. So I feel like I need to deal with things straight away. And by that, I can't always talk to people because, do you understand? So I feel like I have to deal with it within myself before God and just let it go, because there's more to life than going about, oh, you did this to me, you did that to me.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, one of the things that I have to deal with insecurity, actually I've had to deal with insecurity for my weight, I've had to deal with insecurity looking at myself and actually feeling beautiful.